Hello and welcome to this week's review of legislative activities across state houses of assembly on the program from the state assemblies. On this week's review, Bauchi State House of Assembly seeks legislation on fuel subsidy removal. Plus, Cross River State House of Assembly moves to ensure military presence to curb insecurity in the state. Details of these and many more stories will be coming your way shortly. I am NTA Ojonugba, your host. We begin with a story from Bauchi State, where the State House of Assembly last week called on the National Assembly to ensure legislation on fuel subsidy removal is fully in force. This was the resolution of the House on a motion seeking to stabilize fuel price fluctuation in the country. Hali Ahmad filed the report.
The motion under matters of urgent public importance by member representing the Gurguana constituency, Bala Abdullahidan, is seeking the National Assembly to provide legislation that will ensure the aims and objectives upon which the federal government has introduced the fuel subsidy removal. The motion has also drawn the attention of both legislature and the federal government on the need to ensure that Nigerians have an ease in their livelihood.
And therefore seeking for this Honorable House for your kind approval, call on the National Assembly and indeed any relevant agency to draw the attention of the federal government to this reality.
The Bauchi State House of Assembly said its resolution will be forwarded to the National Assembly within 1 week.
Thank you, Hali. Following security challenges experienced on waterways in Akpaboro, Bakassi, Calabar South and Municipal, the Cross River State House of Assembly in the week under review urged the federal government to establish a military base with gunboats on strategic locations in Kwa River to ensure security of coastal areas in the state. Udwak Etim filed the report.
The routine invasion and attack by militants on the coastal communities of Akwa Sokoyamba, Esokumba and other communities of Akpaboyo, Bakassi, Calabar South and Municipality through the Kwa River was presented on the floor of the Cross River State House of Assembly by member representing Akpaboyo State constituency, Basi, who noted that the militants have stopped the fishermen and farmers of those communities from their occupation, causing more hardship. Concerned about the well-being of his constituents and following the recent tragic incident at Akwa Sokoyamba and Esokumba, where one villager was killed and several others injured, the lawmaker who bemoaned the situation called on the state government to check insecurity on the waterways, while urging the federal government through the Nigerian Navy and Army to position military house and gunboats at Akwa Sokoyamba in Akpaboyo and Inwaisre in Bakassi local government area, as well as other strategic locations of Kwa River.
The potential threat there is that if this is not checked, there is that likelihood that this youth would likely one day join them. The government should mount pressure on the federal government, which is their sole responsibility on the waterways.
The need for the military to collaborate with the youths of the affected communities was emphasized, among other contributions by members of the 10th Assembly.
It is the best thing for them to work with the youth of that very community, so that the security agency, they can only use that gunboat to mount checkpoints in our waterways.
The waterways are not safe. I want to also draw to your attention that whenever you meet in your conference of speakers, please let this item be among those issues that you want to present on behalf of our states.
The insecurity situation prevailing in the Bakassi axis and Calabar South, the entire state is aware and is working tirelessly to fix those things that were not there before.
The Speaker of the Cross River State House of Assembly, Elbert Ayambem, has this to say.
When the governor comes into town, after the resolution, we will only to talk on this issue, but if we do that, there's every tendency that the government will know that the house is actually one.
The House also urged the state government to provide palliative for the people of the area who have been cut off from their livelihood by the militants.
Thank you, Uduak. Meanwhile, in a bid to curb illegal mining in Nasarawa, the State House of Assembly adopted a bill seeking a multifaceted approach that will ensure issuance of land consents, collaboration with mining entities and mining communities. Adams Abdul Kadri sent in the reports.
The beginning of the problem is from how
issues of issuance of land consent and community agreement to mining entities by mining communities over times have posted questions and numerous challenges ranging from multiple issuance of land consent, illegal mining activities, illegal occupying of land, and insecurity of others. This among the sponsored suggestion on the bill, if eventually passed, is to address and provide a penalty or penalties for offenders.
To identify that yes, you are the owner of that land first. Then the Miangwa can take you to the village head. Then the village head to the district head. Then the district head to the paramount ruler. Even at that, they have no right to give you any consent. We want also the, engagement and participation of the state.
Lawmakers in their position strongly align themselves with the sponsor of the bill, Daniel Gazi, noting that the host communities stand to benefit enormously, which will in turn improve on their infrastructure development and bring about peace in the mining communities.
Having an institution like this in Nasarawa State is to our own safety. Illegal consent, you see more than one person with the same consent on the same land, is because there is no avenue to verify that consent.
Any community leader that issue a consent in a land belong to someone without the consent of that owner of that land, that community leader should be punished.
Professional expert involved in valuing the content what we have that is on the ground should be engaged.
Mr. Speaker, I support this bill 100%, but it should include the benefit of the mining community.
I will just put a voice vote that those in favor that this bill should get through second reading say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
In the meantime, a bill for a law to make provision for the establishment of Nasarawa State Education Trust Fund passed for assent by the governor.
To make provision for the establishment of Nasarawa State Education Trust Fund and for other matters connected therewith, third reading and passed.
Meanwhile, other two separate bills skate first reading on the floor.
Following the rising cases of public health issues in Kano State, the State House of Assembly has amended the Kano State Public Health Security Bill 2024 to meet emergency response. Samira Hamisu filed the report.
The Kano State Public Health Security Bill 2024 was passed by the 10th Kano Assembly to address critical issues of public health. The bill was developed in collaboration with the National Center for Disease Control, which covers surveillance and management, infection prevention and control alongside protection of health workers. However, with the breakout of public health diseases such as diphtheria, monkeypox, and re-emergence of another variant of COVID-19, there is a need to amend the bill to ration the powers among the stakeholders during emergency situations.
Amendment made in this law totally empowers the commissioner and the governor. In some sections, the commissioner may not exercise his functions without the approval of the governor, whereas in an emergency situation, the commissioner may act on behalf of the governor. For instance, as you are all aware now, we have a case of diphtheria being spread. So if there is a report of that case of a diphtheria, be it cholera, meningitis, or whatever is found in a certain village, town, or hamlet, the commissioner should use his power quickly to curb the area, to call it an emergency area.
Thank you, Samira. Moving on, the Ogun State House of Assembly has taken steps to address the growing state of out-of-school children and improve access to quality education. This is just as the lawmakers hosted their counterparts in Oyo and Osun states, who were there on a peace mission towards resolving boundary disputes. Yemi Dalemo filed the report.
The passage of the bill followed the presentation of the report of the whole by the Deputy Speaker Bolanle Ajayi and was adopted clause by clause before the Committee of Whole after the third reading and was supported by the whole House through a unanimous vote.
Prepare a clean copy of the bill or law to be forwarded to His Excellency Prince Adedapo Abiodun for his assent.
Ogun State House of Assembly at plenary also approved the 2025 to 2027 State Medium-Term Expenditure Framework transmitted to it for consideration and passage by the State Governor Dapo Abiodun. The MTEF report was read and adopted sector by sector before the Committee of the Whole House, which saw to the adoption of sectorial allocations comprising of the personnel, overhead and capital expenditures of the state's various sectors for the years 2025 to 2027.
It's the opinion of this Honorable House that the reports of the Committee of the Finance and Appropriation Committee in respect of the year 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework having been read and adopted by this Honorable House should serve as the resolution of this Honorable House as so moved.
The lawmakers had earlier engaged the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Olaolu Olabintan, where they sought for more budgetary allocation for the education and agriculture sector with a view to improving food security through mechanized farming.
Thank you, Yemi. We now go on a short break. More stories from state assemblies when we return. Welcome back, and don't forget that you can still watch this episode and other parliamentary programs on our social media platforms, scrolling on your screen. As flood continues to wreak havoc in parts of Sokoto State, the House of Assembly has moved a motion calling on the state government to construct drainage systems and rehabilitate some roads in Akila area of the Minneapolis to ensure movement of residents and commuters. Nuruddin Adili filed the report.
Flood has continued to be source of worry in almost every state of the Federation, Sokoto inclusive. Many local governments in the state and metropolis are seriously affected by the flood. The inhabitants of Arkillar Magaji, Arkillar Liman, Nasarawa, and Arkillar Federal Locust, all in Wamoko local government, are concerned by the lack of drainage system that makes it difficult for easy flow of water. The persistent being experienced in recent days resulted to flooding that affect about which require urgent rehabilitation and construct drainage system along this road to facilitate smooth flow of water during rainy season. It is against this backdrop that member representing Wamoko constituency Abubakar Lamido presented a motion on the floor of the House calling on the state government to consider the construction of drainage system and rehabilitation of these roads in these areas.
In view of the above, I'm appealing to this honorable House to call on the state government to consider the construction of drainage and rehabilitation of road in Arkillar Magaji, Arkillar Liman, Nasarawa, and Federal Locust, all in one local government.
On the other matters, as education remains the backbone for the development of any society, member representing the Ngishune constituency Siraju Muhammad Shuni moved a motion on the floor of the House calling on the state government to upgrade junior secondary schools Chefe and Ilela Gajara to status of senior secondary schools. The member noted that the population of these towns are multiplying, hence they need to upgrade the schools to avoid congestion and dropping out of school due to lack of senior sections in these schools.
If the junior secondary schools are upgraded to the status of senior secondary schools, it will reduce truancy and the number of dropouts, thereby raising the standard of education in the inhabitants of Sefe and Ilela Gajara and the neighboring communities.
The Speaker, Chukwubala Bodinga, announced the House unanimous resolve to call on the state government to look at the possibilities of construction of drainage system and the rehabilitation of roads in Arkilla area of Wamoko and to upgrade these junior secondary schools in the Ngishune local government for the benefit of the people.
Two bills have passed by the Oyo State House of Assembly on resumption of plenary after 6 weeks of recess. Oyeyinka Omole reported on these and other issues at the resumed plenary.
At the resumption of plenary, two bills that were considered for third reading were Oyo State College of Nursing and Midwifery Further Amendment Bill 2024 and Oyo State Presumptive Tax Bill 2023. The House constituted itself into Committee of the Whole House for clause-by-clause consideration of the bills before it passed third reading.
Distinguished honorable colleagues, now is the third reading of the Oyo State Presumptive Tax Bill 2023, which has now been read for the third time and passed.
The House also considered a motion on the need for the executive arm of government to reposition technical and vocational education in Oyo State, co-sponsored by lawmaker representing Ibadan Southeast 1 and the Speaker of the House, Adebo Ogundoyin. Matter of urgent public importance call on the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, to assess the extent of damage caused by fire incident at Oroyo Market in Ibadan, with a view to provide relief materials to the victims and forestall future occurrence, among other recommendations.
That the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Inclusion to provide financial and material relief to traders who are mostly women affected by the fire at Oroyo Market of the Northeast local government, including assistance in rebuilding their shops and recovering lost inventories.
Earlier, a message from the governor detailed the assumption of duty of Governor Seyi Makinde.
It is on that note that we draw the curtain on this week's episode of the program from the State Assemblies. Remember, you can still watch this episode, our news and other programs on the social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching and remain blessed. I am Ene Ojonuba. Bye for now.